And sitting in for Dr. Joel Walllach today, we've got Dr. Peter Glidden. Welcome back to the show. It was great seeing you at the convention last week.
You too, Doug. It was a great convention. It was a great event. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy May Day. It's May Day. How did that happen? Certainly doesn't feel like it. April had a record number of big earthquakes, all around the world. It's in the 50s here today in the central plains of the United States. It certainly doesn't feel like springtime. Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but something is up. I would like to hear your thoughts about this. But listen, this is a health talk radio show, right? So let's dial it in. In the last 150 years, our life expectancy in the United States has doubled. 150 years ago, we lived 35 to 40 years of age. Imagine that, 35 to 40 years of age. That's why all the pioneers got married when they were 12 years old. Now we live to 80, but the last 10, 20 years of our life aren't that great. And our potential, our genetic potential, as Dr. Walllach so often points out, is 120 years of healthy living. 120 years of healthy living. We're lucky if we get 40 years of healthy living in until chronic disease starts degrading our health. But my point here is that a couple of things that the country did. Water sanitation, right? Cleaning up the water supply. Developing public sewer systems that actually worked, and maintaining control over food production, giving government subsidies to farmers, having the government help the farming industry stay alive to maintain an adequate food supply all year round. These three things, when you put them together, were the major players in what doubled our life expectancy. And this is a big jump, right? Doubling the life expectancy from 40 to 80. Oh, that's a pretty big deal. Just from cleaning up the water supply. And teaching people to not pee upstream and drink downstream. Well, let's think about this. Let's extrapolate. When, in addition to doing what we now do with water and food production and sewage treatment, you nutrify the body. You give the body all 90 essential nutrients in doses, bioavailable doses, appropriate for your body weight every day. When you stop eating food that's gumming up the works, when you eliminate the 10 bad foods, and nutrify your body with the 90 essential nutrients every day, we're going to take a quantum leap forward again. Our life expectancy is going to be positively affected again, not in a little way, but in a big way. Now, I'm not going to make numbers up. I'm not going to blow smoke. We're not going to talk a blue streak. We're just going to tell it like it is. Just by cleaning up the water and developing public sewer systems and controlling the food supply, we doubled life expectancy, but we are not anywhere near our optimal potential of 120 years. Why? Because nobody's body is nutrified properly and everybody is eating all the wrong food every single solitary day. And then, to rub salt into the wound, when we get sick, the only medical profession that our insurance gives us access to is allopathic MD, pharmaceutical reductionistic medicine. And the MDs, remember, are not trained to fix or cure anything. They're not. It's not the MD's training. When people understand this, their heads explode. Your MD may be the nicest human being God ever created, but they are not trained how to cure disease. They're trained how to manage the symptoms of disease with drugs until things get so bad that surgery is indicated. So we eat all the wrong food all the time because we've listened to Monsanto and Betty Crocker and General Mills tell us what to eat. We've listened to Dr. Oz tell us what to eat. Dr. Oz has no training, no experience with medical nutrition, and yet we bend over backwards at every word that falls out of his mouth because we believe he has the secret decoder ring to all things medical because he has the magical MD degree after his name. It's nonsense. We eat all the wrong food all the time. Our bodies are completely undernutrified all of the time. It's only a matter of time until something breaks. So we get high blood pressure, which most of the time is a calcium and a magnesium issue. We get type 2 diabetes, which most of the time is a multiple mineral deficiency issue. We get arthritis, which most of the time is a multiple mineral and sulfur-bearing molecule deficiency. We develop deficiency diseases, nutrient deficiency diseases. And then we go to the only show in town, the only show that our insurance pays for, MD-directed pharmaceutical medicine, and the MD throws a drug at it. The drug does not fix the nutrient deficiency. The drug manages the symptom. Things get worse. Actually, the drug increases your nutrient deficiencies, necessitating more amounts of the drug or an extra drug or 2 or 3. The MDs just throw stuff against the wall, see what sticks, in their desperate attempt to manage and control your symptoms, because it's not their job to fix the problem. It's not their job to understand the genesis of the problem. They are not concerned with what causes high blood pressure. They are not concerned with what causes arthritis. And this is, this is not a condemnation. Well, it is in a way. It's just a simple observation of the facts. Born-again Christians don't believe in reincarnation. Buddhists do believe in reincarnation. It's a simple observance of the facts. MDs are not trained to cure disease. And so we bring our bodies to an MD. We're suffering with a nutrient deficiency disease. The MD doesn't know any better, throws drug after drug after drug. We get worse, we get worse, we get worse, and then we die. Which is a tragedy of biblical proportions, because there do exist in real time science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery, and that's what we're talking about today. Give us a call and let us show you the way into the undiscovered country of holistic health. Hey, Doug, thanks so much. Last time I looked, cancer kills about 700,000, 699,000 people a year. Heart disease, 699,000 people a year. Cancer, about 500,000 people a year. The largest leading cause of death, however, MD-directed medical treatment, 780,000 people a year. What do you think about that?
Well, interesting that you would bring that up, because I have a story here. It's actually an investigative report that came from CNN, where the headline reads, CDC, 5 things cause 2/3 of deaths, U.S. deaths, that is, according to Dr. Tom Frieden, the director of the CDC. Say 5 things kill more people in the U.S. than anything else. Heart disease, cancer, lung disease such as emphysema or chronic bronchitis, stroke, unintentional injuries such as car crashes, or caused by medical overdoses. And I kind of think they left one out there. Medical doctors, they say, according to these guys, say 5 things cause almost 2/3 of all deaths in the U.S., nearly 900,000 a year, this all coming from the CDC. It's the first time they've ever released a report like this. And they say a potentially preventable deaths of those causes, one of each in 50 states. They say data suggests that we can prevent at least 1/3 of these deaths. They already knew that whether you do things like invest in resources using proven strategies or coordinating with healthcare systems within the local communities, they said even identifying and focusing on just one issue that can be addressed in each community will make a difference. Greatest impact comes when we make a default choice to a healthy choice, such as quitting smoking and having healthy heart actions in your normal everyday life. And according to the CDC, 200,000 people die needlessly every year. And they say we could make it easier for people to be physically active, avoid tobacco, have access to affordable and healthy food. They recommend clinical preventative services such as blood pressure management, cancer screening, and access to good quality. And I would contend that the best thing you could do is avoid the bad foods and don't go to the medical doctor. That would probably increase your chance of survival by probably 100%.
Well, there was an interesting thing years ago. I think it was in the 70s. I can't remember because I'm not that old. There was a hospital strike. There was a hospital strike in this country. And when hospital workers went on strike, the death rate plummeted. The death rate plummeted when the hospitals closed. The death rate plummeted when the hospitals closed, right? This is what happens inside of a system when a monopoly takes hold. We don't have a free medical market in the United States. We haven't had a free medical market in the United States since the early 1900s. The only medicine practiced in your hospital is MD-directed medicine. The only medicine your insurance pays for, MD-directed medicine. The only medicine they teach you about in school is MD-directed medicine, and the only medicine they make TV shows about is MD-directed medicine. But MD-directed medicine is just one piece of the pie of medical science, and it's a eeny-weeny teeny piece, by the way. But we have been culturally conditioned to believe that MD-directed medicine equals medicine, and that all other types of medicine, homeopathic medicine, chiropractic medicine, naturopathic medicine, herbal medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, and acupuncture, all these are not really medicine. They're alternatives to the big dog, the big man on campus, which is MD-directed medicine, and it's nonsense. And it's this belief, this false notion, that the MD is the king of the hill that is really the biggest thing responsible for our ill health. Because when a system is monopolized, the people in charge of the monopoly can get away with murder, and we give them a pass, right? So the MDs kill 780,000 people a year. And by the way, folks, if you want to see the breakdown of those statistics, if you want to see the numbers and how that breaks down, do a Google search for death by medicine. Do a Google search for death by medicine. You can also find the document on my website, fireyourmdnow.com, fireyourmdnow.com. It's a 45-page document written by medical doctors, naturopathic doctors, PhDs, and it gives you the breakdown specifically. So many deaths from hospitalization, so many deaths from medical errors, etc., etc. 780,000 people a year. For goodness sake, one drug, Vioxx, killed 500,000 people, and nobody went to jail. It's time we all collectively woke up. And that's what we're here for. That's why we exist, to show you the light of medical nutrition and show you the way into the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition with longevity. Stick around, more to come. Hey, Doug, I know it's not my ears, so that must be the phones that are ringing. Who's first?
Let's head to Arkansas. And Jeff, you're on with Dr. Peter Glidden.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I'm calling for my dad. He is 80 years old, and he takes insulation for diabetes and takes medication for high blood pressure.
Yeah.
He has been having trouble with his eyes, glaucoma with a 22 to a 26 pressure.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to do an operation to relieve that pressure.
Yeah, of course they are.
He also has macular degeneration where he's already received 2 injections.
Yeah, isn't Western medicine great? Right. So while he's given his hard-earned money every month in the form of medical insurance premiums to the medical insurance companies to give him access to health care when he needs it, he's been duped, he's been played, he's been scammed because the MDs don't practice health care. They practice disease management. There's a gigantic difference between health care and disease management. If they practiced health care like we do, this gentleman and you and me and everybody else in the world would be getting healthier and healthier. Instead, we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So first it's a blood sugar problem, then it's a blood pressure problem, then it's an eye problem, then it's another eye problem, then it's another eye problem. And the MDs never take responsibility for it. They blame the patient. Can't be the doctor's fault. Oh, no. It must be the patient's fault. He's got the bad eye gene. He's got the bad heart gene. That's what he's got. It's his fault. It's nonsense. He's been eating the wrong food all his life. He's taken the wrong dog to the hunt. And, thank God he's finally come to his senses, so to speak, and he wants to find alternatives. But look what it's taken. It's taken him to get to the end of his rope. This is why longevity is so unbelievably important, because everybody is sick, everybody is suffering, everybody needs our help, and if everybody listened to us, we could change the way the world spins on its health axis overnight. It's an extremely important thing that we're up to here, spreading our message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Thank you for taking a stand for, this man. I don't know if he's related to you. I don't know if he's a co-worker, a total stranger, whatever.
No, my dad.
You're all right. So you've stepped up to the plate for him, but let this be a cautionary tale for you. Because, this is what happened to him, and he doesn't have a voodoo curse, and he doesn't have the bad gene. He's been doing all the wrong things every day. So when you see people his age in this state of affairs, the first thing you should think to yourself is, oh man, I better get it together myself, or the same thing's going to happen to me. So what's your father's body weight?
200 pounds.
All right, so here's what I would do. Every month for the next 3 months, I would give him 2 original formula Healthy Start Packs, 2 original Healthy Start Packs, 2 original formula Healthy Start Packs, 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. Let me take that back. The Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, original formula. 2 Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, original formulas. 4 bottles of selenium, 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules, and 1 extra bottle of Beyond Osteo FX Liquid. Beyond Osteo FX Liquid, 4 Ultimate Selenium, 1 Ultimate Daily, 2 Healthy Blood Sugar Packs, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Hook him up with those nutrients, clean up his diet, keep your fingers crossed, call us back every 4 weeks with a report, and expect a miracle. Hey, thanks a lot, Doug. Who's next?
Let's head to North Dakota, and Bill, you're on with Dr. Peter Glidden.
Hey, Bill, what's going on in North Dakota? You know what I found out about North Dakota the other day? That it has the lowest unemployment rate and one of the strongest job markets in the United States. Go figure.
Yeah, that has something to do with the oil up here.
Yeah, and also there's a big tech industry that's moving into Fargo. Fargo is becoming the next Silicon Valley. There's a lot of tech companies that are starting up in Fargo, and people love it because real estate's, relative to the rest of the country, it's dirt cheap. I saw a whole expose about that on the TV the other day. I was quite amazed by that. I can't remember the last time I've been in North Dakota, but that's not why you called. What's up, man?
No, I called about my mom. She's got some issues, and I was hoping you could help out.
All right.
She's 80 years old. She's 5'5" and weighs 150 pounds. And let's see, her blood pressure is 178/67. Her main complaint is fatigue, shaky hands, can't sleep, and extreme weakness.
Okay, well, she doesn't have high blood pressure, right? She does not have high blood pressure, all right? Because high blood pressure, you have to have 3 consecutive readings where each number is elevated above 140/90. 140/90 is the upper end of normal blood pressure. Now, the MDs will tell you a different story. When just one number is elevated once, it's their idea that, you have high blood pressure, or you're pre-high blood pressure. We're going to put you on the meds anyway. It's nonsense. Inability to fall asleep at night, interestingly enough, is related to high blood pressure, because the most common causes of high blood pressure, the single most common causes of high blood pressure, are not enough calcium and not enough magnesium. And an inability to fall asleep at night is also caused by not enough calcium and not enough magnesium. And if there's restless legs thrown into the situation, well, that's a slam dunk. Did you say there was also a blood sugar issue or not?
Well, she was told she has pre-diabetes, but I don't know. I called you a while back, and I told you that she had passed out. They took her to the hospital, pumped her full of fluids, and she seemed to get better. And I've got her on the other line if you want to ask her directly. But
okay, well, what's her current body weight?
What's 150?
150? Okay,
yes.
So this is going to be relatively easy. I love helping people with these conditions because people with sleep problems and people with borderline blood sugar problems and people with borderline blood pressure problems respond almost immediately to medical nutrition. So at 150 pounds, the recommendation would be once a month for 3 months in a row, secure the following. It would be 1 Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, original formula. 1 Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, original formula. That's with the blue Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the liquid Beyond Osteo FX. So that's 1 Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, original formula. 1 bottle of plant plant-derived minerals, 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals, 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX, 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX, and 3 bottles of selenium. 3 bottles of selenium a month, 1 bottle of Osteo FX, and 1 healthy blood sugar pack, original formula, and 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals. Now, in order to increase her body's ability to absorb these nutrients, she's going to have to eliminate the 10 bad foods. So are you, so am I, everybody in the world has to do this, and she can get that list for free on my website, fireyourmdnow.com. Just scroll down on the front page until you see it pop up. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, take these nutritional supplements, and expect a slow and steady slide into health. You're going to start sleeping better. Blood pressure is going to start to improve. The first thing that's going to bounce back is your energy. You're going to love how you feel. Do me a favor, please. Give me a call back in about 3 weeks with a live report on the radio and share your story with the world. Thanks so much for the call. Stick around, folks. Hey, Doug. Always a pleasure to be here, especially now that spring is struggling to come back. Who's on the phone line next?
All right, we'll head to my home state, Kansas. And Jim, you're on with Dr. Peter Glidden.
Hey, Jim.
Hello,
what's
doctor.
going on?
Hello, doctor.
How are you?
Oh, well, I've been better, but I have ALS.
Okay.
And about 18 months ago is when I was diagnosed, and I went from, I'm 6'4", and I went from like 215 pounds. I'm down to about 170, and, the doctors, of course, conventional medicine says there's nothing they can do for me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm glad you called. Dr. Walllach really has a lock on ALS, Parkinson's, Lou Gehrig's disease, Alzheimer's disease. Dr. Walllach honestly, Dr. Walllach has forgotten more about pathophysiology than most doctors know. He is a genius in the world of pathology, a genius. Dr. Walllach was in charge of a gigantic medical research program from 1970 to 82. It was a federally funded project to the tune of $25 million. Walllach did 26,000 autopsies. 26,000 autopsies. That's a lot. He also did millions, like 10 million blood chemistries and histopathologies. That's a lot. When you do that much boots on the ground, old-fashioned, pragmatic research, without any agenda, there was no pharmaceutical agenda there, right? It was a pure research project. You start to see patterns. Well, one of the patterns that Doc saw was with people that have central nervous system dysfunction, like amyotrophic lateral sclerosis that you I'm sorry that you've got that diagnosis, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's. The common denominator from Wallach's point of view is oxidative damage. Oxidative damage to the central nervous system, Dr. Walllach believes, is one of the main key components to the genesis of this illness. And what's oxidative damage? Well, it's everywhere all the time, man. Oxidative damage makes mountains turn to dust. It makes iron turn to rust. Oxidative damage makes food go bad, makes wine turn to vinegar. Oxidative damage is everywhere all the time. It's impossible to get away from it, but the body has mechanisms inside of it that deal with oxidative damage. Your body has a police department. That's the immune system, right? It kills bugs and foreign invaders. The body also has a fire department, and the fire department puts out the fires of oxidative damage, but the body can't do that without raw materials, right? Firemen can't put out fires without water. You need the fire truck, right? You need the ladder, you need the hook, you need the hose, you need the water. Well, your body needs raw materials to handle this oxidative stress, oxidative damage. And the single most important nutrient to put into your body when you're dealing with an illness of the central nervous system like this, in order to support and promote the structure and function of the central nervous system, and to increase the body's effectiveness at dealing with oxidative stress, you need selenium. Now, Wallach's selenium is among the best. My recommendation to you would be 4 bottles of ultimate selenium a month. 4 bottles of ultimate selenium a month. That's 12 a day. 4 between breakfast and lunch, 4 between lunch and dinner, 4 between dinner and bedtime. Now, Antioxidants are also at play here. Antioxidants are what the body uses to help the fire department in the body, and different foods have different antioxidant levels. And antioxidants are measured by an ORAC score. That's capital O, capital R, capital A, capital C. So you need to do a Google search for ORAC food values and see which foods have higher amounts of ORAC, with your total daily consumption of antioxidant ORAC points being 100,000. You need to secure consumption of 100,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day. Now, some of the nutritional supplements that I'm going to recommend have ORAC points, ORAC value. They do. It's a good thing. You need to, get the balance of 100,000 with food and beverages. For instance, switching from coffee to green tea, you have way more antioxidants, way more ORAC. Switching from bananas to blueberries, you way more ORAC. Using curry powder, using cinnamon, using walnuts, way more ORAC. It's easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. It's easy to figure this out. You just have to educate yourself and dial it in. You could also get a copy of my book. I have a whole chapter about this. You can get my book at my website, fireyourmdnow.com. Fireyourmdnow.com. The name of the book was only one book that I've written so far. It's called The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. Now, what's your current body weight? Because if I know your body weight, I can help you dial in a nutritional program.
Yeah, 170 is right where I'm at about now. Like I said, I'm 6'4", so.
Well, okay, that's probably, yeah. So you're about a little underweight, right? You're a little underweight, even, right?
Well, yeah, I lost down quite a bit, but I've gained back. I was down to about 155, but I've gained that back up to about 170.
All right, so the recommendation for you to support and promote a healthy central nervous system would be 2 original formula anti-aging healthy start packs. 2 original formula anti-aging healthy start packs a month, 4 bottles of selenium a month. Now that's going to give you, when you do all of that, you're going to get every day, let me do a quick calculation, you're going to have about 25,000 ORAC points going into your body. So you're going to need to secure 75,000 ORAC points somewhere else. Longevity also makes a product, it's called Triple Treat Chocolate. It's chocolate, for goodness sake, Aztec chocolate, not Hershey's chocolate. And one piece has 18,000 ORAC points. Why? That beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. So that's one way to do it. But the key here, in addition to the nutritional supplements, would be the anti-aging healthy start packs. 2 of those, and 4 bottles of selenium a month. There are 10 foods you need to stop eating. And you can get that list for free on my website. You can get that list for free. But in addition to that, you need to start eating food not only that has ORAC points in it, but that is high in cholesterol. That's right, high in cholesterol. There's no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist, number one. And number two, your brain, your central nervous system is made from cholesterol. So you need to be consuming a lion's share of cholesterol in order to give your central nervous system support. It only makes sense, man. If you broke a bone, it would make sense to take more calcium and more minerals into your body because that's what your bones are made from. Well, when you've got a central nervous system dysfunction at play, eat more cholesterol because that's what those things are made from. So Dr. Walllach, if he was here, he'd tell you to eat 12 eggs a day. He would. I don't know that you need to be that extreme, but you need to be really hyper-focused on cholesterol. And interestingly enough, even Harvard University agrees with us on this. There's documented evidence that people with Parkinson's disease, when they eat a diet that's 80% fat, have a much better outcome than people who are on a low-fat diet. And if you're taking any statin drugs, any cholesterol-lowering statin drugs, you need to flush that crap down the toilet right now. Right now. Because it's hurting you, and you need to have high levels of cholesterol, not low levels of cholesterol. So another thing that I would do is I would make an inventory. I'd get a piece of paper, and on the left-hand column, I would write a list of all of the symptoms that are bothering you on a day-to-day basis, right? Energy, mood, headache, right shoulder pain, insomnia, restless legs at night in bed, whatever, right? Paralysis, numbness and tingling, whatever. Write down the symptoms on the left-hand column, and then once a week, check in with each of those symptoms and give them a score from 0 to 10. 0 being they're all gone, 10 being, shoot me now. That way you'll be able to have an objective record of your improvement, and that will help you to maintain the discipline moving forward, because healing from a condition like this, supporting and promoting your body's ability to recover its health, is a process. It's not an event. It will play itself out over months, maybe years. You need to have a handle on what's getting better. Thanks so much for the phone call. Give me a shout back in about 6 weeks for the report. I appreciate it very much.
We're back on Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host today, Dr. Peter Glidden, filling in for Dr. Walllach. Welcome back.
Hey, time flies, Doug. Where does it go? Let's see how many we can get in before the end of the hour.
All right, let's head across the pond to Germany. And Gottfried, you're on with Dr. Peter Glidden.
Hey, Gottfried, my old friend Gottfried. What's going on, man?
Hey, Achtung.
Achtung, baby.
Great, Doc. This is a young lady, a physiotherapist, 130 pounds, and she was totally messed up by the doctors. So they started her vision problem by dialing in the Avastin injection, which destroy her eye cells, and then she has some laser shots, which destroy her eye completely. Now she's blind on the left eye, and then on the right eye she can see only light. I pointed her to your brilliant eye vision webinar, because she couldn't see the Avastin, this thing in it. So he asked me to call Dr. Walllach for further instructions how to go about.
Okay, great. Yeah, really, really good. I'm glad that you called. I'm glad that you found us, right? So here's the deal. People don't get eye disease because they have an Avastin deficiency or a hydrochlorothiazide deficiency or a high amplitude laser deficiency, right? These things are all used by the MD in a stopgap fashion, the intention of which is not to fix the problem. These treatments are not designed to fix the problem. These treatments are designed to offer a temporary relief. It's kind of like if you had a big pimple on your arm. It was a giant cyst, right? It was a cystic infection, and it was going to explode like a volcano. If you pierced it, with a scalpel and squeezed out some of the goop that was in it, well, that's one thing, but that's going to relieve the pressure and you're going to feel a little bit better, but that's not going to cure the infection. You have to get to the root cause of the illness, and these procedures for these eye conditions that the MDs roll out do not get to the root cause of the illness. They don't, and this is a problem. But, nobody knows this, and nobody asks the MD, well, son of a gun, is this going to cure my problem? I mean, if people just ask that one simple question to their MD, Doc, is this treatment going to cure my macular degeneration? Is it going to cure my glaucoma? Is it going to cure my type 2 diabetes? Is it going to cure my asthma? If they just asked that question, then people would be reluctant to get on board with the treatment. But, the blind leads the blind, in this case, the pun a little bit intended. She needs to give her body nutritional support to support and promote healthy eye function. She needs to stop eating food that's hurting the eyes. She needs to keep her fingers crossed and see what happens. You know the drill for this better than anybody, Gottfried. You know exactly what to tell her to take. You know exactly what to tell her not to eat. There's nothing additional to add on here. But, I would counsel her to look for results. Look for results, because that's what we lean on. And, the body is a giant interconnected web. And we're not just looking for, an improvement in the visual field. I mean, ultimately we are. But until we get there, We're looking for better mood, better energy, better sleep, less anxiety, better appetite, better weight, etc., etc., etc. And this is the biggest thing that people need to understand about healing the body with medical nutrition. It's a process. It unfolds itself over time. It's like watching a flower grow, or it's like watching ice melt in the springtime. Slow and steady wins the race. We get improvement here, improvement there, improvement here, improvement there. And then before you know it, the body has optimized its structure and function. This is not an event, like the surgery. This is a process. It's going to play itself out over months, maybe years. And she, you, me, everybody else on the planet needs to be aware of that and just look to see if we get specific and measurable results. And when we do, maintain the discipline and ride that horse as far as it's going to take you into the undiscovered country of medical nutrition. Thanks for the call, man. It's always fun talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry we're all out of time. Look me up on the web. My show's next. FireYourMDNow.com. See you in the future, God willing.